Welcome back, everybody. Woo! We're back with Core Keeper. But what are we going to be doing today? My name is All Fun and Games. I stream every day on Twitch TV. I also do fun little videos here on YouTube. It's time for our very own Core Keeper Beginner Guide. Now, I've already went through and I've showcased how to do things. For example, how to fight bosses, how to craft certain weapons, stuff like that. But I haven't actually gone through and walked somebody through how to play Core Keeper. And a lot of Core Keeper, comes around playing multiplayer. And if you're playing solo and you're having trouble, well, hopefully this video is for you. And even if you just like to follow along and enjoy the video, well, I hope this video helps you out. All right, so it's been a while since I played Core Keeper because I've just been kind of dabbling in and out of it, waiting for any type of update. But that being said, we're still waiting, and we know that there is a patch coming soon, so bear with us because all I gotta say is there's gonna be some awesome, cool stuff coming out. I don't know for what just yet, but as soon as I know, you will know. That's my guarantee. So let's go ahead and make a fun little world. Let's go ahead and call it the Beginner World YouTube. I can't even do that because I can do YT. There we go. Well, I'll just call it Beginner World. There we go. Okay, and let's give it a cool little icon. What resembles YouTube to us? A little dragon? That sounds about right. All right, let's go ahead. Now, let's go ahead and make a brand new character. We're obviously not going to bring, let's go on number 7, lucky number 7. Of course, we're going to do standard type character, and let's roll the dice a bunch of times and give ourselves a name. What should we name our character? Pickles. All right, Pickles is a good little name. Now, while I go through the whole beginner guide, I'm not going to do any cutscenes. I'm not going to do any clips or anything like that. It's going to be straight through. I'm going to cut the video out at exactly probably, I want to say, anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes. We're just going to go in and go into the next step. So hopefully you learn things along the way. That way I can do the title properly, where if you're only looking to, like, for example, start a base or make this or that, the other thing, you'll be able to follow along and it won't be so long for you. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about our backgrounds. Now, I've mentioned in a previous video exactly what each background does, but you can obviously see right here, a fighter will start out with 3 melee skills, 1 copper sword, and 3 food rations. We have a chef, that's 3 cooking skills, 1 cooking pot, 8 mushrooms. Gardener, which is gardening skill, copper hoe, and a watering can. Fishing perks, which gives you fishing skill, wood fishing rod, and 3 food rations. Nomad, which is nothing if you're feeling lucky. And of course, an explorer, which I always go with. 3 running skills, 1 small lantern to start, and 3 food rations right away. Now, I'm always going explorer because I think the small lantern is nothing that you can pass up. Obviously, you can get this no matter what. But to be honest with you, you get mining skills pretty fast in the game. You get cooking skills pretty fast in the game. So why not go with explorer? So let's go ahead and do that and start our run. Okay, so if you're starting out on Core Keeper, you can obviously choose whichever you like. Obviously, I choose my own. I'm going to skip the intro here because I've seen it a million times, but of course, you can feel free to watch the intro. It's going to showcase us going into the area where we're so used to going into, and it's so nice to be back playing some more Core Keeper. Okay, so as we go along, I'm going to try explaining as many things as I can. That way, if you are following along and you're confused, hopefully I try to explain my best. Now, if for some odd reason I skip over something and you have any questions, you can feel free to comment down below in the comments, and I will answer as fast as I can for you. So first things first, we want to take our small lantern, put it on our offhand so we have light. Our rations are for eating at any time we want. Okay, so we're going to start off by taking and gathering a ton of wood. Now, wood is extremely important in Core Keeper. It's nothing that you want to pass up. Now, same with food. Food is also important to you as well. Anytime you get a new item or whatever new in Core Keeper, it's going to show in the bottom left corner. The rarity of the item will also differentiate. So, for example, you'll have like a white for common and so on and so on and so on and so on. So, depending on if you actually get like a really rare drop, you'll see it right away. So, always keep track of like anything that shows up in the bottom left corner. So we'll start off by getting our wood here, and then once we're done with this, we can start venturing out a little bit further. Now, wood is always good to keep on you. The beautiful thing about Core Keeper is if you do die, anything in your hotbar stays there. So for the first little bit, you can pretty much keep any resource until you start having a ton. So let's start off with just making the bare essentials. Obviously, you want to make yourself a nice little workbench. Now, for now, it doesn't necessarily matter where we place our stuff because we're going to be eventually moving things around as it is. But for the sake of the video, I mean, you can pretty much place anything wherever you'd like. So as soon as I go in here, it's going to tell me that I can't make anything except for a chest, which obviously, sure, I can make a chest whenever I want to. I'm going to to probably make it in a little bit because, I mean, I want to ration my wood just a little bit. You can make yourself a few wood bridges, which you don't necessarily need right now, but I wouldn't really recommend making anything in here. Other than, if you press tab, make yourself a few torches. If you just hold down left click, you can make a ton of torches, and these, however, can be left pretty much anywhere. But once I said before, if you die, keep your stuff in your hotbar for now, because like I said, if you die, anything in your hotbar will remain there, so that means you can die a million times and it doesn't necessarily matter. Stat-wise, I'm not really doing anything right now until we get 5 stats in each of these. Then I can start adding points into different fields. But like I said, I won't jump the gun on anything just yet. So start off by, for now, we'll just get a few wood pickaxes. I'd probably say about 3 should be more than enough. But that being said, as soon as you have your torches, hold shift, and let's start placing some torches. Now, usually what I like to do is I like to place torches on the kind of like the outskirts of my base. So that way my whole base is lit up and I don't have to necessarily worry about, okay, I can't really see over here, over here, over here. So let's do that to start. And then of course, you know, it makes our base look nice too. You don't have to hold shift, but obviously if you're used to Terraria and stuff like that, holding shift will get you exactly what you need. Now we're going to start gathering dirt walls, which will get you another ingredient for making something really important. Now, if you see these sparkles in the distance, well, that means that there's ore to be had and things to be mined. So go ahead and mine all the ore if you see anything sparkling around you. And of course, you know, it's probably better to just, you know, if you do see it around your little base, just go around and try to see it. So I'm going to see if I can find some more. There we go. As we look for things that are sparkling, I'm not going to spend too much time gathering with my wooden pickaxe, because you'll see here in a minute exactly why. Okay, and then if we pressed over on our workbench, you're going to see exactly what we're looking for, which is a furnace. So we need 20 dirt walls. So let's get a few more of these, and this is exactly why I'm talking about doing this, is because we're going to eventually get ourselves a copper pickaxe. Wood pickaxes are pretty useless. They actually used to have like a really big use to them when being able to repair items was very inexpensive, but they've recently nerfed that a ton, so unfortunately now it's not as easy as it used to be. Okay, so let's make one little smelter, put our copper stuff in there. We can go back here and you can obviously tell that it only takes 2 copper bars for what we want to do. I'm going to make a chest for any of the junk that I don't need anymore, and we're going to shove all these out. Technically, we really only needed 1 wooden pickaxe, but it really varies on exactly like what, you know, what you have going on. For example, if you started out and you didn't see anything sparkling, well, then in that case, you know, I might be a little bit worried. 6 more copper bars. Let's let that smelt. I only really care about copper pickaxes right now, so it's not like I want to have anything more than that. We're just going to basically mine a ton here, so, you know, don't venture off too far if you can help it. But I mean, at the same time too, every world is different, so you might have to go a little bit further out. Now, the one cool thing that they did in Core Keeper is if you are mining with a pickaxe, you obviously are using and deteriorating, you know, what's going on. If you're fighting with a pickaxe, you're not going to be using its ability. So that, or sorry, its durability. So the reason why they did that is because a lot of people were using different items and they were getting like kind of broken really fast. So they've said, you know what, unless you're using it for what it's meant to be, then don't worry about it. Okay, so here we go. So we found a little area which has wood. That's right, some wood. Now these slimes won't actually attack us. They're not going to be aggro towards us. It's the spiky ones that will be. That being said, if I walk near them and touch them, they're not going to hurt me. So don't be scared of these little guys, okay? You can walk right up to them. If you see one with a spike, or if you accidentally attack it, well, then be a little bit scared. And honestly, they don't do too much damage anyway, so as long as you have a sword, you're perfectly fine. But like I said before, you can just basically walk up to them, give them a little hug, give them a little kiss. Oh, see, I accidentally attacked it. All right, so I only have a pickaxe on me, but like I said before, your pickaxe can be used as a sword, and you don't have to necessarily worry about it taking any damage. So just something to obviously think about. So we got a lot more wood, and you'll find tons of wood. So, you know, when I first started playing Core Keeper, the one thing that I was worried about was wood all the time. I'm like, oh no, if I lose my wood, like, what am I gonna do? Blah, blah, blah. But trust me, you'll get more, and you'll be able to grow wood too. So you can make wood farms and blah, blah, blah. It just don't worry about it too much. I wouldn't go about using all your wood, so don't go, you know, making a ton of chests right away. I would definitely keep at least 100 wood on you at all times if you can help it. And like your inventory is pretty large right away, and it also gets bigger as time goes on. So don't really worry about it too much, because it will get easier to actually store a ton of stuff in your inventory. And if you attack one slime, it's not like they're all gonna target you. You have to basically attack a ton at a time. So if you are deciding to attack a slime for any reason, just be a little careful. And of course, we always have our food on us, but we want to try to keep our food for cooking them. So right now, I'm just basically going out and gathering what I can and just exploring a little bit of my area without going too far. You don't necessarily want to go too far, but you also want to try to get a decent amount of ore if you can help it. So what I'd like to do is take our seeds and our items and that we're not going to be using and just make our little space here so I can go ahead and start punching things. And like I said, I could use my pickaxe if I want, but it's just a lot faster to do it this way. And you can hear, if I can listen. I don't know if you can hear it or not. Should be able to hear it here in a second. I might be a little bit too far away. You hear it now? Okay, so you can hear the first boss that we're going to be attempting to fight shortly. I believe is it jumping over here? Thought I heard it. There it is. Okay. And of course, we won't necessarily go and fight the slime boss just yet. We're not going to be doing that for a very long time. I'm going to get you pretty settled in before we decide to do something like that. And I'm going to show you the easiest way of killing it when we get a chance to as well. Okay, so now you can see the spiky slimes trying to attack us. We're going to get the heck out of here because I don't really want to be in this area. I just wanted to kind of see exactly where the first boss is going to be. And then once I found it, I'm ready to get out of here. So of course you can leave you can leave torches along the way. So if you don't want to get lost, the best way to do it is practice your Minecraft skills. If you do play Minecraft, you always probably got yelled at by people telling you, leave a torch on the left-hand side so you know exactly which way to go back. Same thing works in Core Keeper. Feel free to leave a torch down so you know exactly which way to go. And like I said before, as long as you have 100 or so wood on you, you have more than enough wood than you'll ever need. So don't necessarily worry about that. Okay, so here we go. We're back in the base again, and this time, however, we have a ton of copper ore. We can go ahead and take what we have left over here, and we're going to make some cool stuff. We can't make a sword yet, so let's go ahead and make another pickaxe, because why not? We're going to leave our stuff on us, so we're going to leave all of the wood now or start organizing. Now, of course, you can go ahead and press R, which will auto-sort your inventory. I don't like doing that because I like my stuff a certain way, but of course, if you want to do it yourself, you can feel free to do that. Now, you can also see that we're getting seeds. So we have root seeds, which are from trees. So when we grow them, it's going to actually let trees grow near us, or heartberries, which will obviously grow heartberries. But what I want to do first is I want to actually make a cooking pot, but I don't necessarily care about that just yet. So let's not do that. Our food rations, actually, the rations that we start out with, literally don't do anything. You can't cook them or anything. You can just basically eat them. So might as well just eat them all to fill up your food bar. We're still smelting stuff. Let's go ahead and make a sword so we can actually defend ourselves a little bit. Next up is 8 copper bars for that. We only have 5 smelting plus a 3, so we'll be able to make an anvil here shortly. So let's go ahead and keep mining, and hopefully we can find a water source nearby. What you can do, which I don't necessarily like doing, because I'm the type of person that whenever I get a world gen, I just kind of go with what I have. What you can do is if you have a world gen that you don't like that doesn't have water near you. So what I'm going to do eventually is look for water around us. So as soon as you find water, it's really good because you're able to kind of locate water for growing crops and stuff like that. But of course, if you are the person that says, you know what, the world that I have is not as good as I thought it was going to be, it's time to switch to another one, you could always delete your world and go again until you find water close by. Chances are you will find water right away. Like, you can tell that I just found water already, so it's not necessarily something you have to really worry about. And of course, it's not like we really need water that much. We just want to have it somewhat close to our base so we can kind of incorporate that in our base. So that's good that we actually found it. I'll leave a torch way there so we know exactly where to go for it, which obviously it's fairly clear exactly where it is. But now we found it, so that's good. And the more sand you find too in your world, the better, because sand is so easy to get by, and honestly, it gives you a ton of free resources just for basically, hitting your left mouse button. So if you do find sand and you do see stuff in there, always make sure you grab it, because it's a very, very, very fast way of mining. So I'm going to continue to try to get a decent amount of copper here. Eventually, I want to try to get to the point where I'm making myself some copper armor, and that's pretty obvious. That's why we're trying to get our anvil. Now, you can immediately tell, boom, our copper pickaxe completely broke, our durability is done. Now, in the old way of playing Core Keeper, we would go ahead and we would carry scrap with us, which was obtained by what I said originally, which was the wooden pickaxe. but they changed that. So now what happens is when you make a repair station, which you'll see very soon here, you can actually repair items. However, they require a little bit of stuff. So they require a little bit more to actually repair the item. So it is less than what it is to make the item, which is good. However, you want to make sure that you try to keep some of your broken utilities if possible, just to save you from, you know, having to basically spend a ton on scrap and stuff. So let's go ahead and get a bunch more wood here. If we can, there's a ton of shiny stuff around us. We press M on the map, we can see where the slime boss is still located, so we don't necessarily have to worry that we're going to accidentally go over there. And honestly, if you get lost and you accidentally appear where the slime boss is, just don't worry, just run right out of the arena. Okay, so look, we already found a mechanical part and an ancient gemstone, some fiber, and an old amulet. Now, you can't wear the amulet. This is something which has what they call valuable, or like a little coin icon on the top right, which means that we can sell it. Ancient gemstones and mechanical parts, you want to keep these because they're going to be used for making recipes, or sorry, for little recipe, well, yes, recipes in order for making certain items in Core Keeper, and things that you're going to want to keep. So definitely keep those in a chest. Make sure that you get them whenever you can see them, because they will be very handy as time goes on. Finding those little tiny little chests that we just found on the ground that we just punched. If you find them, make sure that you go into them and smash them up right away, because they'll give you tons of different loot. It could be anything from copper to obviously what you just saw right there. You can also find gear in them, which obviously is great. So, you know, always make sure that you smash them up if you get a chance. We have 21 copper, which is quite a lot. Sometimes I like to make 2 smelters if I find the one is going slow, but honestly, copper smelts really fast, and by the time we're making our farm, I can almost guarantee that we'll end up finding that all the copper has already done smelted. So I'm still just getting more here, and eventually, you know, we will get a better pickaxe as time goes on, but as of right now, we're basically going to be in the copper world for a little bit more time. So let's just not get too ahead of ourselves. Okay, so that being said, I'm still kind of mixed in with like a little bit of slimes, but I think it's time to go back home, put our stuff back, and start smelting some more things and start working on our farm. Okay. So as we go back here, we go back to our little tiny little base, put our stuff away. We have our seeds and whatnot. What I also like to do is I like to make another chest and basically put the chest close to where you're probably going to be making your farm, which is over here, because that's where the water's at. And we'll start putting all of our food and anything that's food related and or farming related in there. And then you can put all of your other utilities in another chest. You know, obviously you don't have to organize like this, but this is how I like to organize. Now, recently Core Keeper came out with another ability, which is auto sorting. Boom, press that, it'll sort all your stuff. You can also do quick stack, which will basically take anything that's relatable. So if I have, for example, fiber and I go like this, it's going to take fiber from here because it knows that it's there. If I have sand walls in there, it's going to put sand walls in here. So that way it automatically does that. Okay, so and once again, keep anything that's very important in your inventory. So we're going to go ahead and take a copper pickaxe that's broken, and we're going to put it in here for now because I'm not going to use it. And to make a salvage and repair station, we need 5 copper ore, and we've already smelted 5, so now we have 9. Let's put our 23 in there. And that's why I said before that you have so many dirt walls. You can go ahead and make as many furnaces as you want. I also want to make a cooking pot, so we're going to do that. Let's put the cooking pot over here, and oops, I didn't want it there. I wanted to put it right there. And now we can take our food that we have in our chest. We have our mushrooms, and we have our that, and we can go like this. You can just kind of put it in there. You can also put stacks in there if you really want like that. And then when that finishes, you put the next one, and then we can split the stack with mushrooms and mushrooms, and that'll give us something as well. So now we have a little bit more food, which is a tulip thing, which will let us glow. And you can just play around with as many recipes. Honestly, there are really good recipes out there, but just do what you want, you know, have fun with it. Honestly, that's what the game is meant to be, is just have a little fun with it. So go ahead and split the stack now. So we have half of that, and let's go ahead and smelt that. Now, I already mentioned how quick copper does smelt, and I've already said that before. It's very, very fast, so you don't have to really worry about it too much, but you will end up using a lot of copper pretty quickly if you're not careful. So obviously we want to get a watering can, so that way we have that. And now we're waiting for the rest of the copper to smelt so we can make the anvil, and But first, before we do the anvil, we're going to make the salvage station. Just so I can showcase it to you real quick. Let's go ahead and put the salvage station right here. And now you can see how it's going to be. So we go ahead and we take our pickaxe, which was busted right here. And it's going to tell you when we hover over it, we go to repair. You can see that it required 1 copper in order to fix it. So that's how you basically repair stuff. So it doesn't necessarily... Sorry, let me just double check here. Why is it not showing? That's a little bit odd. There it is. Okay, so I was just thinking, what? Usually when the update came out initially, you could actually hover over your pickaxe, and it would tell you the repair cost of this pickaxe is blank, but it looks like you have to hold the repair button over top of it for it to tell you. So, yeah, so it took 1 copper bar to repair. So that's much better than going over here and taking 2 copper bars and 4 wood, of course. But that being said, you know, it's good to just keep your items, even if they are broken. Okay, so we took that one, then now I have a brand new pickaxe, so just make sure you keep your items on if you can. Obviously, you can tell that wood pickaxes are completely useless now. We're probably never going to use them. You can go ahead and scrap them if you really want. And how to scrap them, you put them in the scrapper, and you click this salvage button. And now we got wood from it, okay? So it went ahead and gave us basically resources back. Now, sometimes you will get scrap, I think, randomly if you get lucky, but I don't think that's ever going to happen. I think for things like that, it's probably just going to be small little pieces. So, and they've actually manipulated that quite a bit. So obviously things have changed since the first time that I made a video on Core Keeper, and even since then. So, you know, things change all the time, and devs are always adjusting things. Okay, so we made ourselves a little bit of food. Let's go ahead and eat it. And now we have 25 max HP over 5 minutes, and we have 4.2 health every second. So we're basically gaining HP over time, which is obviously awesome. All right, so what do we want to do now? We want to make ourselves our anvil. Yeah, that's right. So we got ourselves our nice little anvil here. Boom. Go ahead and make that, and we can now click here and notice that we can obviously make whatever we want because we have 8 copper. We can make 8 copper to make a hat, a helmet, a chest, and the set piece unfortunately doesn't give us anything right here. You would see a little thing that would say set piece and whatnot, but it does give us max HP and armor and all that other stuff. But before we do that, we want to work on making ourselves a little tiny farm. Okay, so we're going to spread out here. We are still next to the water, which is perfecto, exactly what we want. We're also just going to, you know, work on maybe putting down a few little torches here to make it look nice. And of course, we don't necessarily have to make it look too awesome, but we obviously want to make it so, you know, we have a little bit of space here, so that way if stuff starts to grow sporadically, we have enough room to kind of spread our feet out and grow as many crops as we want. Now, I only have like 2 seeds here, so it's not like I need anything crazy. So let's grab those seeds that we have. But as you grow stuff, eventually down the road, you're going to get more and more. So you just want to make sure that you have what you need. Okay, so let's grab the copper hoe, and let's go ahead and till that soil. Ba-ding, ba-ding, ba-ding. And now we go ahead and we're going to plant our root seeds. No, we're not. We're not going to plant them here. Remember what I said about root seeds. Root seeds are trees. So plant our heart seeds, our glow tulips, and those can be planted next to each other. And what do we forget? We want to take our watering can, fill it up by right-clicking, and then quickly just right-click. And it's very fast to water, so don't worry about that. Now, as for our root seeds, the way that it works is just like this. When you have root seeds planted, so let's go ahead and put them a little bit further. You know what? We'll even make a whole new area for our root seeds over here. So the thing about root seeds is you don't really want them to be too close to your other farms because they will kind of like spread out. They're kind of exactly what they are. They're roots or trees roots. So the more they spread out, the better. The more wood you'll get. Now, I tend to not really rely too much on root seeds, honestly, myself, just because I find that there's so much wood out in Core Keeper to actually get that it's not necessary, honestly, for me to really do it. But for the sake of the video and for the sake of the fact that, you know, it is nice to actually get a little bit of farming out there, I would probably suggest, you know, just doing it anyways. Now, you can go ahead and water your crops as much as you want. You're not going to hurt anything by doing so. So you can actually start tilling and just getting the watering out of the way if you really want to. So that being said, it's not going to go anywhere. The saturation will stay there until you've utilize basically that square. So go ahead and keep it nice and watered, and you water so fast, and as time goes on you actually water quicker. You can leave obviously your watering can inside the chest but close by if you want to, but there we go. So now we can go ahead and we can take the stack of mushrooms and split them. But what I probably would recommend doing is not doing that, and maybe just putting let's go 1 2 3 4. I don't know why. There we go. Okay, so let's put about 4 in there, and you can click on here and it'll tell you the recipes of what you previously made and all that other stuff. So it's kind of like a little bit of a little cookbook that you get. Now, of course, what we got is we got mushy mushroom soup plus 20 food and 4.2 health every second for 20 seconds. So we're getting a little bit of food from here. Of course, as time goes on, we'll find other food out there in the wild. But there we go. We've started our production on making a tiny little base on Core Keeper. And we've already started to grow some crops. We've got ourselves some copper stuff. We're still working on hopefully getting some more ore, as we just broke the surface in Core Keeper. So if you're following along and you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. Make sure that you comment down below. If for some odd reason you have a question, feel free to ask it. But as time goes on, we're going to learn more and more about Core Keeper. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good one. Bye.